Welcome to bimproject.cloud, where we will show an example of the procedure for specifying a luminaire. Any web browser is sufficient for your work. All data is stored in the cloud and is therefore accessible at any time and from anywhere. We start by choosing a category. We can work with objects, structures, and materials. Let's start with the specification of a pendant luminaire. Specification requirements are divided into geometric requirements and properties. Both will be also used later to filter the database of actual products. The geometric requirements affect the size of the luminaire in the BIM model. For those that remain off, the default values will be used. We can also add information whether we are looking for minimum, maximum, or equal value. If we have installed Revit with the bimproject.cloud plugin, we can insert the specification directly into the BIM model. A confirmation table will appear, and since we have no objects selected in Revit, we only have the option to create a new luminaire. Now we switch to Revit, where our luminaire is created according to our requirements. After we place the luminaire, we can see that the geometry matches the dimensions we have set. Now let's try changing the geometry requirements. Let's switch back to the browser and change the selected values. Then we click on the Add to Project button again. With our luminaire instance selected in Revit, we now also have the Update Selection and Replace Selection options available. Since we have only changed the parameters and the geometry type remains the same, we select the Update Selection option and continue to Revit. The parameters of the selected luminaire type have been updated based on the new requirements. Now we will add the requirements for the luminaire properties. For example, we set the materials, power input, and energy class. We will insert the changes into the Revit family using the Update Selection button. New shared parameters have been created in the Revit project and assigned to our luminaire with the required values filled in. We will now show how to easily change the geometry type. The geometry type selection is the first of the requirements in each category. After clicking on the set type, we can choose the one that suits us best from the various options. Here we select, for example, a square pendant luminaire. The diameter requirement has disappeared from the geometry requirements and has been replaced by width and length. All other requirements not affected by the type of geometry have remained the same. In the confirmation table, we select the Replace Selection action. We can notice that the family has been replaced, but all of our property requirements have been retained. Now we will try to specify a real product based on the hanging circular geometry. The product catalog can be found in the Real Product tab. The product list we see corresponds with the selected geometry type and requirements. The more, less, and equal settings from the numeric sliders are also projected here. When we click on the product card, the product detail is displayed with all its properties. If we like the product, we can assign it to the specification by clicking the Save button. We can now see all the product's features compared against our requirements. We can also check which product properties we want to add to the BIM model and which we don't. The Add to BIM Model button is blue for products. All other principles of inserting, replacing, and updating geometry and parameters are the same as for the general specification. The type name in Revit is now named after the product and contains all the properties we have selected. These are again represented by shared parameters. If we don't want to create new shared parameters, we can use our own shared parameters for the project. This is what the parameter mapping is for. First we go to Settings and click on the Integration tab. After clicking on the New Preset button, a window will open where we can name the preset. Then we upload the shared parameters file. In this video, we will use a smaller file with only a few parameters. After uploading, a table will appear where we can pair the bimproject.cloud parameters with the shared parameters of our project. To do this, we can use the text field search option, or we can open the entire list of bimproject.cloud parameters. Once saved, we will see the new preset in the list. To use this parameter mapping preset, we need to activate it. From now on, the mapped shared parameters will be inserted. Let's try this on our luminaire that we already have in the project. After updating the parameters, the diameter parameter in the luminaire family has been replaced by a shared parameter from the project. Of course, it is preferable to set up the mapping before starting to work with bimproject.cloud so that unwanted new shared parameters are not created in the project at all. If we are not sure about the product selection, we can always go back to the generic specification. Just switch back to the Yellow tab and replace the selected object. The selected product will remain saved, but the new family type will again contain only the parameters according to the set requirements. Thank you for watching.